Hey guys, welcome back to Choosing Recovery. I'm Olivia.
And I am Scotty.
And today we have something completely different for you guys, but so very, very exciting. It's life past addiction, it's success within recovery, and we are bringing some amazing people from down in Florida to share their stories with you.
Oh, what is your drug of choice?
Alcohol.
What age did you start using?
I would say about 12 when I moved to Florida.
Okay, where were you living prior? Excuse me.
So I was born on an army base, so we moved around a bit. And I lived in Maine, in which I was like a very, very normal child. I was super normal, whatever that means, right? And then I moved to Florida, and it was like day one, I was like transformed into, I don't blame Florida, but it was like I met some like cool people, and like I went to like cheerleading camp, and I met some like fun girls, and like I just transformed into like a completely different person. In fact, I don't have many memories even before that person.
Wow.
It's strange.
It's normal for us to shape around our environment.
Yeah.
So how long did you use for?
And since I started.
Yeah, like since 12.
Until pretty much, I had started getting clean my first attempt was in 2018, and I relapsed twice, so now I have 11 months. So I'm about to be 31 tomorrow, so
Okay.
18 years, I'll just say.
Wow, yeah. So who did your addiction affect?
Well, mostly at first I just thought myself, right? I just thought, oh, it's only me. It's not affecting anyone else. And then you get clean, and you kind of, if you're lucky enough to have your family and your friends accept you back, I found out that like intensely affected them. The things I said to them, the things I did around them. Some of them said that they couldn't even go to sleep sometimes because they're like, I wonder if like she's gonna die tonight. I wonder if we'll ever see her again. And I was like, that's wild. I had no idea it was affecting you that way because it's a self-love issue. I don't even realize that people love me enough to take the time out of their day to think about that kind of stuff. I just thought like I know like you're my family and I know you're my friends, but like who really gives a shit?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's.
I think we've all gone through that part of our own, like in recovery, is realizing how much it has affected other people. Because I think we just get so caught up in that daily use that we don't see that. So what led you to get clean today?
Mostly, I really would love to say that it was because I wanted to chase my dreams and stuff like that, but I didn't want to die. I was scared. And I think subconsciously there were these dreams I wanted to chase, and there was this light way back in there that I still wanted, because otherwise why would I care about living or dying? And I realize that now, but I was just fearful. I didn't want to never open my eyes and see the sun again,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it was at that point, 100%, where I was afraid to go to sleep because I didn't think I would wake up. And if I did, it would be like a seizure or a heart attack.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. So how are you staying clean day to day?
Well, for me, it's really important to stay busy because I'm a classic overthinker. I do suffer from like depression and anxiety. So if I'm sitting at home for too long, like stuck in my thoughts, like at night I can relax and watch TV, but like if it's any in the daytime or even like early evening, I can't even like sit there and like focus on like a show or anything because I don't know what to do with myself. So starting this business with my partner Lolita has been really, really, really helpful. And of course, like having a program. So whatever that program means to you, something that you're dedicated to. So going to meetings, doing my step work, talking to my sponsor, spending time with my family. So just staying busy in like positive, like helpful, supportive situations.
Awesome. That is
Driving to
so
stay
awesome.
motivated. You got to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Even when it's hard, I think, because there's days that it gets hard And I think that a lot of people are like, oh, like even just getting out of bed, you know, like I think that sometimes is struggling just to like get up and face the day. There's times where we'd much rather just run and hide away, but that's our strength, is that we get up and we're like, all right, we got this.
We set our moods. We can choose how we feel today. You know, and people think that we can't, but it's like you said, staying motivated, like making your bed in the morning, brushing your teeth, doing things like that.
Small stuff.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself a lot that I can choose the way that I feel, because sometimes I backtrack and I don't think that I can.
Yeah.
And I have to say, oh my God, like you can choose. Like sometimes, like of course, like if I'm having a down day, I can't like fully just be like this bubbly positive person, but I can like still choose to like get up, right? Like just like you said, I'm like, listen, I can still choose to have a good day.
Yeah.
I don't have to let this like, because sometimes I'll think in my mind like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna call Lily and tell her I'm sick, and then I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like you, and then I get up and I like drink some water and I like make some coffee and I like go to the gym and I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Like, you're gonna have a great day.
And then you laugh at yourself later. It's like, wow, it's so fun.
I'm just relating so much right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My sponsor.
You're done with the day. You're done with the day, and you realize that like the next hard day, you'll be a little bit stronger than you were like that next hard day, and you might only like slightly think about calling in sick. Less
Less and less each time. That's so funny. I remember when I first
I
started.
don't think about it anymore.
Yeah. When I first was starting, I asked this older lady to be my sponsor, and she's like, okay, well, call me when you're ready. And I was like, okay. I called her and I was like, I don't feel good. And she goes, well, the steps are ready when you are, and hung up on me. And I'm like, okay, I'll come over. You know? It was just hilarious.
Yeah, I guess I'm coming. Harsh.
It's what I needed though, you know, like I really needed that accountability big time.
Yeah.
So she was the best for me, trust me. Okay, so what is your best accomplishment within your recovery?
That's hard because there actually has been so many, I feel like. But I think what's most important to me right now, which I think that continues to change, is having healthy relationships. Because I'm a true believer. Like I want to make lots of money and I want to, be successful. And we're over here being influencers, and I want to help the world. But to me, what's most important right now is like love. Because I think it's super important, and I think it pushes you every day. Oh, it gets me all like crazy. So, because I tell Lita a lot, I say that like sometimes it scares me because I don't know if I'll ever stay clean for myself. Like I feel like I stay clean for like you and my boyfriend and my family. And she's like, dude, like you've surrounded yourself with stuff you're not willing to lose. And like that's a great reason to stay clean. I'm like, all right,
Bet. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Doing good at that. Yeah, so like my healthy relationships are the most important to me right now because they are what push me.
That is awesome. That's very nice to hear. I remember like realizing when I finally got my family back, because it takes so long to build like trust again and stuff, but to like actually sit back and be like at Christmas laughing, or even like Thanksgiving dinner, you're like, there's just so much stuff that we took for granted, and now it's like, wow, I get that. My 1 year sobriety, there was a bunch of people that took me out to dinner, and there's 20 of us sitting at this table, and I'm like, wow. Me? I'm like, what?
Me?
Like me? Like, why do you care about me?
Like, why do you care?
Yes.
Whose birthday is it?
Like, when someone tries to hang out with you like 3 times in a row, you're like, wow, they look really
Interesting.
like they really like want to like hang out with me, like this, that, like that's weird. And it's like that's what we have to learn, is that like, yeah, like people be loving you. It's crazy.
That's so awesome.
Isn't that so, like, I don't want to say it's sad, but like it's kind of sad that we have to learn that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we're learning.
Yeah. Every day.
My dad has said to me 3 times in the very beginning of like being clean, I was like, all right, like stop saying you're making me feel bad. We'd have like the most simple conversation. We'd hang up and he would text me, it's so nice to have a conversation with you. I'm like, God damn, was it that bad? And we'd be like, wow, I'm I'm really glad that you and me can just discuss something. You say it's slightly different. I'm like, man, I guess I couldn't even have a conversation with you, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's so amazing. That's awesome. So if you could say anything to someone that is still out there using today, what would you say to them?
I thought about this question earlier, and I think just in relation to what I feel, I would say that I know that you feel a lot of pain, and it's why you do what you do, but I promise you, like, trust me, the only way to heal that pain is to get clean and sober. You will never rid the pain if you continue to use. So you will have to live with that pain forever until you join the other side.
Awesome.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot goes unsaid when we're always trying to hide that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we spoke the other day about how when you're in active use, you're trying to cover that part of you, like you're always trying to run from it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good to realize that, you know, pain happens to everyone. It's just what are we gonna do about it now?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, I get it. Like, I know why I might not know the specifics, but, like, I know why you're using. Like, no, I'm not, like, surprised. Like, pain is painful.
Yeah.
Like, it's an intense word for a reason. But you can live that way for the rest of your life. Or you do, like, you can start healing. And it takes people longer than others, you know? It does. I think that's why a lot of people, like, you know, they quit because they're like, no, this isn't working. But you gotta be willing to put in the time.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could say something to a family member of someone struggling with an addiction, what would you tell them?
Cut them off.
Ah, yes.
I love it.
Go watch all our videos. I say the same thing. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Cut them off.
Cut them off.
Cheers.
Listen, they're lying to you.
Absolutely.
They're
100%.
lying.
Straight up lie.
I love it.
Don't give them money.
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome.
absolutely.
Best answer. Nice.
Let them know you'll be there for them when they're ready.
Yes.
That's great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're huge on the family aspect of our YouTube, like on that side, because it's just, again, we forget about how bad we hurt everyone around us, even our friends too, like that were there prior to our active addiction or our alcoholism or anything that we got into, and it really does hurt people dramatically, and the bridges that we burn, some of them we'll never get back. There's some relationships that people will never fix. And
It's like they believe you've changed. They're like proud of you, probably happy for you, but they're like, your image is so tainted in their mind that they're like really all good on that. They're like, yeah, like I'm happy for you, but like I'm good on you.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
So
And that's okay.
it is.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, of course, like just start with a little like backstory. Like I said, I started using when I was like 12 years old. I didn't really have a lot of supervision, though if they had tried, I would have just done whatever to get around it anyways. And so pretty much, like I think this happens to a lot of people. I was, you know, going off about my day to day and pretty like mediocre in what I thought was life. I'm like, this isn't really like, okay, life is life. And then, you know, I like shotgun like my first beer, which is like what a way to start.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like, whoa, I literally instantly was like, I never ever want to feel any other way. Basically, like any sort of activity that I ever go do, anytime I hang out with a friend, anytime I go anywhere, do anything, like I want this to be involved. Like this is what it's all about. No, like unbeknownst to me that like it was even like I was doing anything wrong. You know, I literally used to get with my friends and we'd hang out and be like, I don't get like what, you know, no names, but like what these girls like do. They're just like, what, they go to the mall, like they see food, like they shop, like they just, like they're just sitting here with each other. We were literally could not understand what they did together, which is so insane because that's how warped we were. We couldn't even understand how they were hanging out, like not smoking weed together and drinking, right? Like at 13 years old. And so I didn't even look for this group of people. It was just natural. We gravitated to each other. And then, of course, like, as I get older, I definitely don't think anything wrong. I would say out loud, like, what's your favorite thing? I'm like, oh, my favorite thing is like drinking and driving and seeing little rain. That's my favorite thing to do. Like, probably nowhere in my mind once, and this is until I literally just got clean this last one until I was 30 years old, did I ever get in the car, and I have 3 DUIs. I just got my last one in November 26th, 2019. Never once did I ever get in the car and think, wow, like, I might kill someone today. The only thing I could think of was like, maybe once or twice I thought like, oh, I really don't want to like get a ticket. So it was not even on my radar that I was really doing anything wrong. I was so self-serving that like all I cared about was getting my alcohol, getting what I needed, and I had no care of the entire rest of the world, while at the same time thinking that I'm a good, caring, like, member of society. Like, society should be glad to have me. So it's a sickness. 100% it's a sickness. It is like a disease. And, so then I continue on through life, and I lose jobs. Like, I get my first DUI when I'm 18. I definitely don't think anything's wrong because we all drink and drive home from the bars. So I really don't think there's any issue. And then I'm 25 years old, and I get my second DUI, and I'm at an art festival, and I go to move my car, and I whip a U-turn, and I smash into a mom and her 12-year-old daughter. I still literally could not just wait to get out so I could go home to drink. I never once, thought about stopping. I was just truly grateful that I didn't hurt them, because if I had hurt them, then I'd be in trouble, and then I had to stop drinking. I drank my entire way through the probation. I got an interlock in my car. I found a way to drink entirely through the interlock, like the exact amount of hours until I could get back in and start the car. I would get caught with the interlock and somehow make up these insane excuses and not get in trouble for that either. No idea why. I don't really necessarily have good luck. But I get caught doing everything. So I was on an ankle bracelet when I was 18, monitored, just because I cared more about going out and partying than following the rules of keeping juvenile probation. Nothing was more important to me than getting fucked up. Absolutely nothing. Not what people thought of me, not the law, not my family. Nothing mattered, and it felt good. That's the problem, is that it felt good, and I liked living like that. And that's still today what I have to remind myself of, is that there is, that's why I try to fill myself with love and healthy relationships, and I try to really, really, really engage with the people I care about, because self-love is super, super important. I had a best friend continue to tell me through my active addiction that I didn't love myself, and that's why I was the way I was. And I thought that was, but I thought that was the craziest thing, that she was a psycho for saying that to me. I'm bro, yeah, I love myself. What are you talking about? And only 6 months into really getting clean this time that I realized I didn't. And I still struggle with that. And I think it's because I wasn't doing anything in my life to love myself for. I was a trash person. You know what I mean? Driving around, not caring. I was stealing from stores all the time just to beat my addiction, even if I had money. It just didn't matter to me whether anything. So yeah, I get in my car accident, and I hurt those people, and I still continue on with my addiction, and that's when it really, really got so unmanageable. From 25 to 30 was just pure isolation, pure sickness. I didn't go out, I didn't have fun. I was just inside drinking. The array of ways that I lost jobs would astound people. I worked at a country club where I smashed into a pole and knocked the whole thing over, and somehow got my car home, and they drug tested me and passed it. I would keep the next job, I would keep bottles of expensive whiskey just sitting under my desk, and just wait till no one's looking, drink it. They would offer me to go to rehab. I would lie and tell them they're crazy, and just leave the job. And because I've never really, to me, there was still no more consequences. I just thought, who cares? I can get another job. I lied on my resume anyways. My stepdad was enabling me in the way of letting me say that I worked somewhere for 4 years that I had not worked. So all I had to do was update that date every time I went to go get a new job, and I looked like the prime candidate. And I literally had convinced myself that I would only get the job if I went to the interview drum, because it made me like open and like I never failed an interview, so I thought it was foolproof. So the point being is that there was zero consequences for me in what I thought. And then I went to detox, and you know, I went to Daytona, and Lolita helped me get clean, and I left the halfway house and thought, so this was the first relapse, and I was like, oh, well, like maybe I just like was physically dependent. I can be normal. So we all know that's not true. I was beat from the second I took a drink. And months passed, I go to get clean again. This time I drive myself out of my area for places and things, right? So I go to Jacksonville, I go to detox again, I go into a halfway house, I think I can move out again, and this time I stop going to meetings. The hurricane comes, and I convince myself that I can't be in a house with no power, no air, no TV, no nothing, and stay sober. So I said, well, I'll just drink for a week, and then we have a week because work was shut down for 2 weeks, and I'll have a week to get clean. This time, second relapse, I was instantly sick. I'm talking like blackout, the gross stuff, bathroom floor, sick, like throwing up, that kind of thing. And I pushed through that. I pushed right through and like figured out like, I mean, it's at the point where it doesn't like you'll just be growing up and breaking you down, right? So that's where I was at with that, and I kept trying. I would try to stay sober for like 3 days a week, and you just like cannot do it on your own. So I said, oh my God, like, I mean, I'm gonna die. Like I can't even close my eyes because my heart is beating so fast and my body is shaking so much, and I put as much alcohol in me that I can, that I don't know. I really think I'm gonna die like any second, all the time. And no amount of like Xanax or marijuana would like calm me down. It was done. So I called Lolita, and I'm like, I'm at this point I'm living in hotels. My parents, for some competent reason, still send me money because they think I'm clean, which is crazy. And I was like, listen, like one more time, like this is it. And she's like, okay. I lied to her about like how much I had drank that day. So she's like, get in the car and come now. And I decide an hour on the way from a 2-hour drive back to town, I would pull myself over and like wave down these cops and tell them that I like a car rear-ended me. To this day, we don't know if that's true. I'm so delusional that I have no idea if that really happened or not. I don't know. So I get pulled over again. They're like, you're like a psycho and you're like drunk. So they like arrest me. Yeah, really though, because I think, you know, someone FaceTime with them, like, tell my friends I'm like pulled over, or like what happened, and I'm really on my way. God figure that they think I'm like lying about coming there to get clean. So I get anchor acted. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like where they take you to like crazy hospitals and because I'm just saying most like insane things, and I'm like, then she's like, okay, well I'm gonna come get you. I'm like, oh, because I have Xanax in my car. So my car gets impounded because I hit the third DUI, and I think if I just get one more, like I'm 100% coming here to get clean, but I just need like one more to get through it. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, like basically just get hanging up on her. Anyway, she finds me, and from then on, she's like, listen, like you're getting rid of your car. I'm like, well, I have my license in. She's like, no, like you're done with your car, you're done with everything, you're like gonna live here. Like I'm like, oh, well, like maybe I can still smoke weed. She's like, no, like you're done. You are beat to the limit. Like what is wrong with you? So she goes through every pocket, every lemon that I have, clear out any kind of drug or anything that I have on me. And it's like, there's out her baby surgery, or brand new baby surgery, like puts me in there. Pretty much we do like a 90 and 90, and I like truly commit and surrender. I worked the first step, which I've never really worked truly and honestly, because I was not surrendered. And I get a new sponsor, and I meet people. She forced me a little, but I meet people, and well, during Christmas, don't me a month cleanup, she took me to 3 Christmas parties. I thought I was literally gonna have a heart attack. But I'm friends with some of the people, a lot of people still today, and we'll go to those Christmas parties this Christmas.
Awesome.
And basically just a long, treacherous line of not wanting to give up, you know. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm living in hotels and lying to my parents, just like I'm sure we all have, and I still think I can do this. So yeah, I lived here. I lived at Lolita's house, you know, with the help of a friend for for 4 months and did the damn thing, and then I moved out, and instead of this time moving out and not going to meetings, I continued with my program. I continued working with my sponsor. I continued to think of ways to excel my life. Like I went to school, got my personal trainer's license, and we started this business together, which has saved my life. And, you know, I started recovering out loud because I think that I thought had to be a secret that I still wanted to drink. I'm like, I can't tell people that I have not a desire. If I can't tell people that I still wish I could like open a beer when I go to the beach, I can't tell people I'm not ready to go dancing. Like I have to pretend that like everything's okay. So this time I told the truth. And if I ever had a feeling of like missing journey or felt like I couldn't do something yet, I talked about it. And that's why we like saying recover out loud, because I just think that if you hold it all in, or if you're ashamed of it, or if you hide in the shadows with your recovery, then you're always going to be ashamed of it. And that just goes hand in hand with self-love. Like today, I love myself, and I'm not ashamed of my past, because as cliche it is, it's formed who I am today. And I don't think I would ever be this best version of myself if I hadn't gone through those things. I think I would just coast. I think I would just have like be a pretty regular person and to check off the ABC on like the boxes of what society thinks our life is supposed to be. And then I would just coast from here. But instead, I'm a fighter. Instead, every day I wake up and have to be more motivated than the average person, because every day I'm fighting something.
You're literally like making me tear up over here.
I'm trying so hard not to. Like I am like, thank God for the makeup, because I'm being red here. My ear. I'm like sweating.
You're doing amazing.
I'm like, this as you're talking, I can feel the empowerment and the pain and just the overcome and all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to break down over here.
Because we can talk about the pain all day though, right? Mm-hmm. It's the solution that's like way more important. Yeah. You know, you go to the meeting and someone's mostly just like complaining. It's like, listen, we get it. You know what I'm saying? No one's coming in here saying like, you know, I think the good days, you know, are more rare than the bad days. Yeah. And that's where I think people get confused about recovery. So like, I'm 3 months clean and my life isn't fully fixed. And like, I'm still this and I'm still that. But like, yeah, for sure you are. Like, nobody said that this was gonna like fix you. It's kind of like when you first get clean. I don't know. I hope everybody gets this in their life, but really someone in your life goes, yeah, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're proud of, because like I haven't done shit yet. And I think that's good, because that means you have so much more to do. And like I'm just at the point where I'm like, all right, you can be proud of me. I think I'm ready. I'm ready for you to be proud of me. Because at first I'm like, you're still working on that self-love. You're like, I don't deserve anyone to be proud of me. If all I've done is put down drugs, you don't realize how severely amazing that is, because they thought you were gonna die. So like, yeah, they're pretty damn proud of you.
Yeah.
But I really try to live in the solution, because I am a complainer and I literally complain to you all day long. Shut up. Just a big facts. I can complain all day long, and I can talk about what I didn't like about my childhood, and how differently I thought my parents could raise me, or what if someone had done this, or maybe if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have become an alcoholic, or maybe I could have controlled it. But you know, the solution is so much more important than the past. Yeah. It's like crazy. And this is the kind of stuff, talking with other addicts, like this is where it's at. You know what I mean? The communication with like people like you. Because there's so many more of us out there than I think people realize. Like, dude, we are not alone. We're not alone. We're not like some alien group of shit. Life is hard. Okay? Life is not easy, and it's not a surprise that a lot of us succumb to the temptation of masking those feelings. Absolutely. You know? It's like, can you dig yourself out? Are you strong enough to need it? Because I'll always want to drink. Yeah. I think I always will. Because it's not like the drinking, it's the escape. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always want to like escape. But if you like build up a good enough life, and you like work really hard at that, I don't know, maybe that's not true. Maybe one day I won't. You know what I mean? And that's like the cool thing about the journey. Mm-hmm. It's like every single day you like get brighter and brighter, and you like continue to like figure out who you are. And it's like we get like a second chance at life. Like not a lot of people can say that. Like, if we get a second chance, we can change everything. We can be a completely different person, and that's dope. So I just think it's so. Like, do you ever just think like you like lay down and write and the baby sleep and you're like, do we really like love recovery? Like, are we really so in this that like not only like we're doing these people, like we feel this like calling, like this need to like share it with other people? You're like, who are we? Is this us? Like,
Yes.
I look at you guys and I like just know like, cause I feel that I'm like, is this really me? Am I like on these like videos? Am I like people will read me like people who are like super grateful for us? And I'm like, is that really like? It's still like sometimes it's like I struggle with the higher power thing, but I'm like, wow, like something's got to be like guiding this, you know? Because you guys are just doing the damn thing, and it's like you see a need and you see like a lack, and you're like, okay, well, like what? What did we say? We said, why not us? That's what we said. Yeah, why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us?